Hello ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here for Digital Dojos, and today I'm going to be reviewing the iPhone 6s. The iPhone 6s is Apple's latest flagship smartphone, an S upgrade from last year's 6 model, which typically illustrates speed improvements internally and externally. For the most part, stays the same as last year's 6 and 6 Plus. Now, the phone retails anywhere from $650 to $850 depending on your country and, of course, carriers, with options for financing via Apple. Now, the phone comes in 3 variations, 16 gigs, 64, and 128, but really 16 gigs is just there because Apple is trying to persuade you to buy the 64 or 128. It comes in 4 colors, gold, space gray, silver, and the all-new exclusive to the 6S and 6S Plus, rose gold. It's pink. It's pink. Now, this review will examine a couple parts: hardware and specs, what's new in the 6S, the software, and some overall thoughts on the device. Starting off, of course, with the hardware and specs. The iPhone 6S comes with an A9 CPU, an all-new A9 CPU, M9 coprocessor, 2 gigs of RAM, a 4.7 Retina HD display that's a resolution of 1334 by 760 pixels with 326 pixels per inch, weighs in at just 5.4 ounces. Overall, the iPhone 6S still has a great Retina display. The 6S is going to be a faster device. That's really what it focuses on. You're getting a device that, if you're coming from the 6, is that much faster, coupled with a couple new things, which let's go on and jump into. The A9 and M9 processor, what exactly does that mean? What does that mean for a everyday user? Well, it provides a much smoother experience. Running benchmarks, for those who don't know, is essentially a test that measures hardware performance. Geekbench showed that the iPhone 6s scored 2,557 on the single-core score and 4,469 on the multi-core score, keeping in mind that the iPhone 6 last year scored 1,613 single-core and 2,886 on the multi-score test. 3D benchmarks showcase that the M9 chip scored 28,184, comparing that to something like the NVIDIA Shield, for example, which is a dedicated gaming device, which scored 45,310. Now, everyday performance proved to be just as great. The apps ran smooth, no issues with lag when switching or multitasking. Everything ran flawlessly in my experience. Now, this is a combination of the new hardware paired with iOS 9, but again, everything I used it for, whether it was personally, professionally, operated great, from browsing to gaming, games like Need for Speed, for example, just really showcase the iPhone's capabilities, and furthermore, why devices like these are becoming more and more people's main source of gaming. Additionally, the Touch ID has been improved and it's blazingly fast. If anything, this is the thing that just was most noticeable to me in the upgrade. You literally can get in your device before you can even see the time on the lock screen, which can be a bit of a pain for those who just want to glance at the time or notifications, but a little bit of rewiring on how you unlock your device or just tap on that home button to quickly preview will change that. 3D Touch, that's another big talking point of the 6S. This is essentially a pressure-sensitive screen which can detect taps and harder presses. This invokes a secondary menu similar to that of a right-click on a computer. While not all apps have this supported yet, it is a great step for iOS and where it's going, providing quicker ways to access certain features and new ways to interact with the OS. You can do things like live photos, jump to shortcuts and apps. Again, the only problem here is the widespread adoption and the fact that once it becomes a habit, you forget that not all iOS devices out there support it right now, including their latest iPad Pro, my iPad Air 2. So it is a nice feature, and again, it's going to be a big part of where iOS is going, but right now it's not a major selling point to upgrade to the 6S. What else is new? Well, the camera. The camera, on the iPhones have always been simply one of the best and easiest to use out there, and the 6S is no exception. It shoots great pictures, even better videos. The rear-facing camera has now 12 megapixel support. The FaceTime camera has 5 megapixel support. And video-wise, if you're shooting with the rear-facing camera, that shoots 720p 30 FPS, 1080p 30 or 60 FPS, which looks phenomenal. I'll throw an example of that up now. 4K video at 30 frames per second. And the front-facing camera got a new flash mechanism similar to that of something like Snapchat. So if you're taking selfies in the dark, it's a nice little feature. Shoots great pictures, even better video. That's what you need to know. And if you want to get the video stabilization, that is only available in the 6S Plus. So do keep that in mind. iOS 9 is what the phone is coupled with. And while I have a separate video entirely coming up on that and my experience with that, the iPhone 6S with iOS 9 does run great. Aside from minor gripes of mine like the app switcher and some animation issues, and the fact that iOS just hasn't really changed the home screen environment in a couple years now, Overall, it still is a pretty seamless experience. It has a great app ecosystem, and the unification if you're an iOS or OS X user is just simply one of the best out there. So let's wrap up with some overall thoughts. Is it worth the upgrade if you're on the 6? Probably not. Unless you have the money, of course, or you see a real detrimental reason to upgrade to the 6S, your 6 should serve you fine until the next iteration of the iPhone comes out. However, if you're anything below the 6, yes, I definitely think the 6S is a great upgrade. Now, the question between the 6S and the 6S Plus, that's a different topic in itself that requires, if you want a bigger screen experience, if you want better battery life, those are different factors. But what makes the 6S in itself worth upgrading to? Well, again, it's faster, that Touch ID, the better camera quality, and if you're a fan of the 3D Touch, then you can also get that, of course, as a bonus, sort of. The 6S is a great device. It's Apple's latest and greatest phone. It's fast, portable, and packaged with great software. Look, if you're an iOS user, then this is the best option out there, simply put. Additionally, it's one of the best combinations of hardware and software in the smartphone lineup. It's not groundbreaking or revolutionary or innovative, rather a refined experience and look at what's to come for iOS and their devices. One thing I do appreciate about Apple is that they don't try to be the first at everything they do. There's a lot of great Android devices out there that are doing really great new things, but Apple tries to be the best at their implementation. For everyday users, this does it all. Calling, browsing, apps, gaming, and it's simple enough to understand while complex enough to do what they want. Rather than giving a rating of a review on a star basis, I want to answer it from the perspective of, is it worth the price for most people to spend their money on? Yes. For specific others, like I said, no. If you're coming from a 6 and you don't really need to upgrade, then that will last you fine. If you prefer Android, then you're probably not even watching this review. But for the most part, yes, the 6S is a great phone. It's a great upgrade, and I think definitely worth the price tag. It's that much faster and that much better. So we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up and or share this review out to others to help them decide on their purchase. Your feedback is always welcomed in the comments below, and of course, if you're not subscribed, please sub for more content. Also, be sure to check out our site for more information at digitaldojos.com. Thanks for watching.